Let us try to solve some question today. So the first one is find the sum of first 1000 positive integers. That is, we need to find sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on up to 998, 999 and 1000. So one way you could think about this is the sum would be, if you are adding the first term and last term, what do you get? 1001. If you are adding second and second last, 2999, you get again 1001. 3998, again 1001. And if you keep on doing this till the time you reach the midpoint, that is 500 and 501, you will keep adding, you'll keep getting 1001. So basically what you are doing is you are adding 1001, how many number of times? 500 times. That is half the number of terms. So the answer would be 1001 multiplied by 500. That is equal to 5005 and 00. So this is one way to think about it, to directly write the sum from this step to this. Another way to think about it is, you are given an AP, you know the number of terms. So the number of terms is 1000. You know the first term, you know the last term. So you can apply the formula, that is Sn equal to n by 2 times a plus l. So essentially we are doing the same thing here. So this is the sum of first term and last term, that is 1 and 1000. Or you could also think it of as sum of second term and second last term, third last term, and so on. So this is what we have here, a plus l. And what we do here, we add this thing half the number of times there are terms. That is, in this case, we added this 500 number of times. So here we have total number of terms as n. So we are adding this term n by 2 number of times. So you just write here 1000 terms divided by 2 multiplied by first term plus last term. So essentially we again come back to the same expression, and this is the answer that we get. So you could think directly in this way, or you could think it in this form. Okay, let's have a look at the second question. What is the second question is the sum of first n positive integers. So we now just try to generalize the formula. So what do we need to do is 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on up to, if you have n minus 2, n minus 1 and up to nth term. So this is a general form of what we had here. Here we had n as 1000. So the way you could think about this is, if you add the first term and last term, what do you get? N plus 1. If you add second term, second last term, what do you get? N minus 1 plus 2, n plus 1. If you add third term, third last, 3 plus n minus 2, you again get n plus 1. So what you are doing is, you are adding n plus 1. Now how many number of times? Half the number of times. So when you reach middle, you will again get the sum as n plus 1. So you will add it half the number of times there are number of terms. So this will be our sum of first n positive integers. So you could either directly think here, or you could think this in the form of this formula, that Sn is equal to n by 2 times a plus l, that is first term plus last term. So you have here number of terms as n divided by 2. You have your first term as 1 and your last term as n. So it's the same thing, n plus 1 by 2. So this is last term plus the first term. So either you could directly think of this in this way, or you could think of this in this way as well. This is a very handy formula, so it would be good to keep this in mind. Basically, for example, we had 1000 here. So what did we have here as 1000 plus 1, that is 1001 times 1000 by 2, 500. So this is what we had here. And now in future, if you just get like sum of first 500 terms, sum of first 500 positive integers, then what will that be? 501 times 500 divided by 2. So this is a good formula to keep in mind. Let us have a look at another example. So what we have here is a manufacturer of TV sets produced 600 sets in the third year and 700 sets in the seventh year. Okay, assuming that the production increases uniformly. What does this thing means? Assuming that the production increases uniformly, which means that the production of TV sets is in AP. The number of TV sets that are produced over many years, they form an AP. That is what is meant by assuming that the production increases uniformly. So let's say if in the first year they are producing some A number of TV, and in the second year the number of TV increases by D number. Then again in the third year there will be a uniform increment. And by a uniform increment you mean it will again increase by D. That is, you will add D to the second term, A plus 2D. So this is the production in first year, production in second year, production in third year, and so on. So it will form an EP. This is what is meant by the production increases uniformly by a fixed number. Okay, so we now know that the TV sets productions are in AP. So we can apply everything that we have learned about them, about AP, into this question. So what does it say? It says that it produces 600 sets in the third year. So our third term is 600, or how do we write it? A plus 3 minus 1 to T is equal to 600. So this is our equation 1, and in the seventh year they produced 700. So in the seventh year they produced 700. Therefore A plus 6D is equal to 700. Now in order to know the AP we need to solve for A. So we could just use what we learned in the linear equations chapter. We just subtract them. So this gets cancelled out. This is minus 4D is equal to minus 100, or you get D as 25. And now if you substitute D back into this, you get A as 600 minus 2D, that is 600 minus 50. This is 550. Okay, so we have answered the first question, the production in the first year. So the production in the first year is 550. Okay, and you have your difference as 25. So in the second year the production would be 575. In the third year the production would be 600, and so on. It will continue. Now it asks production in 10th year. So the production in 10th year, you can directly use this thing. T10 would be A plus 9D. Therefore this would be equal to, what is our A? 550 plus 9 times 25, which is equal to 550 plus 9, 5, 45, 4, 225, and this will be equal to 775. So in the 10th year they will produce 775 TV sets. Now the last part, it says the total production in 7 years. So what do we mean by the total production in 7 years? That is, we need to add all of these things until the 7th term. So in the first year they produce 550, in the second year they produce 575, third year they produce this much. So you can keep on writing fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, seventh year, and then again add all of them, or we could directly use the formula that we know. So the sum of first n terms of an AP is n by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. The way to keep this thing in mind is you are adding first term and last term, first term and nth term, that is a plus n minus 1 times d. So you get 2a plus n minus 1 times d. And how many times do we add? Half the number of times there are number of terms. So you could think of this as in this form. And when you keep on solving more problems, this thing will automatically come into you. And now we just need to substitute values. So we need to find the sum of first 7 terms. So we have n as 7. So this will be equal to 7 by 2 times 2a. So 2 times 550, that is 1100, plus 7 minus 1 is 6. And 6 times 25 is 150. Therefore we have 7 by 2 times 1250, or this is equal to 625, and this will be equal to 4375. So what we have got here is the production in first year. The production in first year is 550. So this was the answer to first question. They produced 550 TV sets in the first year. In the 10th year, how much they produced? They produced T10 as 775. So this was the answer to second part. And in the 10th year, they produced 775 TV sets. Now, what will be the total production in first 7 years? So if you add all of the TV sets that is produced in 7 years, that is, you take the sum of first 7 terms, you get 4375. Let us have a look at one more example. So here we are already given the general term. So we know that the nth term of this list of numbers is 3 plus 2n. We still do not know if it is an AP or not. So let's start by writing some of the terms. So our first term, if you just replace n by 1, you have t1, 3 plus 2 is 5. So this is our first term. The second term would be 3 plus 2 times 2, 3 plus 4 is 7. The third term would be 3 plus 2 times 3, that is 3 plus 6, 9. Fourth term would be 3 plus 4 to 8, 3 plus 8, 11, and so on. So what we have here, the list of numbers has 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on. So we can see that 7 minus 5 is 2, 9 minus 7 is 2, 11 minus 9 is 2. So this list of numbers is indeed forming an AP. Now we just need to find the sum of first 24 terms. So we can directly plug in our formula. So what is our formula? Sn is equal to n by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. The way to keep this in mind is sum of first term, last term, a plus n minus 1 times d, and we are adding it half the number of times there are terms. So now in this case, we need to find first 24 terms. So n is equal to 24. Therefore, we have 24 divided by 2 times 2a. A is 5. So we have 10. 24 minus 1 is 23. And common difference we have as 7 minus 5, 2. Therefore, what we have here is 24 by 2 is 12. So we have 12 times 2, 23, 46, 46, 10, 56, and 12 multiplied by 56 would be 12, 50, 600, 6, 12, 72, so it will be 672. Hence the sum of first 24 terms of this list of numbers would be 672. Let us do one more. What does it say? It says if the sum of first 14 terms of an AP is 1050. So what we have here is sum of first 14 terms is 1050, and we are given its first term is 10, and we need to find the 20th term. So okay, so we can just start with this formula. Sn is equal to n by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times t. Now we have written this formula many number of times, it should automatically come into you. And we just substitute the values that we have. If we put n as 14, so s14 will be equal to 1050. 1050 is equal to 14. N is 14, so 14 divided by 2 is 7. And we have 2a as 20, and n is 14, so 14 minus 1 is 13. 13 times. Now we need to find d. Okay, so we have 1050 is equal to 140 plus 91D, or if you take this 1050 minus 140 is 910, and this is equal to 91D, or D is equal to 910 divided by 91 is 10. Therefore, we got our D. Now we know A, we know D, we know our AP. We need to find the 20th term. So 20th term would be A plus 19D. We have A as 10, and 19 times 10 will be 190. Therefore, T20 will be equal to 200, and this is our 20th term. You can find all the lectures on arithmetic progression in this playlist here, and also the lectures on pair of linear equations in two variables in this playlist here. Also, please subscribe to the channel and share it among your friends. Thank you.